Kevin Costner, now 70, is finally opening up about one of the most important figures in his life, Robert Redford. But before we get to that, it's worth remembering the journey that shaped the man who would eventually become one of Hollywood's most respected actors, directors, and storytellers. Born Kevin Michael Costner on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California, he grew up in a working-class family, the youngest of 3 boys. His father, William, worked as an electrician and utility executive, while his mother, Sharon, served as a welfare worker. The family moved often because of his father's job, and those early years of constant change gave Kevin a sense of independence and adaptability that would later become a key part of his approach to life and acting. From ordinary to extraordinary, Costner didn't dream of stardom as a child, but he always loved stories. He attended California State University, Fullerton, studying marketing and finance, and it was during his final years there that he discovered his passion for acting. A chance encounter with actor Richard Burton on a flight changed everything, inspiring him to take acting classes and pursue theatre while working odd jobs to support himself. His early career was not glamorous or fast. It was a slow climb, built on persistence and belief in his own talent. The long road to recognition. Costner's rise to fame was gradual. His early roles were small, and one of his first big breaks came when director Lawrence Kasdan cast him in The Big Chill, 1983. Although his scenes were cut from the final film, Kasdan remembered Costner's presence and later cast him in Silverado, 1985, a film that finally gave him widespread recognition. From there, a string of successful films followed, each showcasing his ability to play the rugged, sincere American hero, quietly powerful, deeply human, and impossible to ignore. The Golden Era. The late 1980s and early 1990s marked Costner's golden era. Films like The Untouchables, 1987, Bull Durham, 1988, and Field of Dreams, 1989, made him a household name, and audiences connected with the themes of integrity, redemption, and the human spirit that ran through his work. Then came Dances with Wolves, 1990, a film that would define his legacy. Costner not only starred in it, but also directed and produced it, taking a bold risk that paid off in a major way. The film won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and it proved that Costner could create cinema that was both epic and deeply emotional. The 1990s, a time of triumph and challenge. The 1990s saw Costner at the peak of his fame, starring in major films like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, JFK, 1991, The Bodyguard, 1992, and Wyatt Earp, 1994. The Bodyguard became a global phenomenon, thanks in part to its soundtrack and Whitney Houston's iconic performance of I Will Always Love You. Yet even during this period of triumph, Costner's career faced setbacks. Films like Waterworld, 1995, and The Postman, 1997, were criticized for their budgets and ambition, but Costner remained admired for his willingness to take risks and follow his instincts, even when the outcome was uncertain. Beyond acting, music, and a new chapter, Costner is not only an actor, he's also a musician. He serves as the lead singer of Kevin Costner and Modern West, a country rock band that has toured internationally. His music reflects the same storytelling instincts that define his films, with songs about love, loss, and the American frontier. In recent years, he experienced a career renaissance with his role as John Dutton in Yellowstone, 2018-present. The show introduced him to a new generation, and his portrayal of a complex ranch patriarch earned him critical praise and renewed admiration. A life rooted in family. Off-screen, Costner's life has been rich and grounded. He has 7 children and has spoken openly about how fatherhood is one of his greatest joys. Known for his humility and generosity, he has supported numerous charitable causes, from environmental efforts to children's organizations. Despite fame, he has remained remarkably grounded, preferring the quiet life of ranching, playing music, and spending time with family over red carpets and tabloids. Love and lessons. His first marriage. Costner's romantic life has been as complex as his career. His first marriage was to Cindy Silver, his college sweetheart. They married in 1978, long before Costner became a global star. Cindy was a grounding force in his early years, helping him stay focused during the uncertain days of pursuing acting. They built a family together and raised 3 children, Annie, Lily, and Joe. But as his fame grew, the demands of his career took a toll, and after 16 years together, they divorced in 1994. It was a painful and highly publicized separation, and the reported settlement was one of the largest in Hollywood history. Still, both Costner and Cindy worked hard to co-parent their children respectfully. and Costner later described the period as a time of emotional reckoning, a second chance at love. A decade later, Costner found love again with Christine Baumgartner, a model and designer nearly 20 years his junior. They first met in the 1990s, but began dating seriously in the early 2000s. Their relationship faced public skepticism, especially due to the age difference, but their bond proved strong. After a brief breakup over the question of having children, they reconciled and married in 2004 at Costner's ranch in Aspen, Colorado. They had 3 children together, bringing his total to 7, and for nearly 2 decades, the couple seemed inseparable. However, in 2024, their marriage ended, and while details were kept private, the pressures of his demanding career and large-scale projects may have contributed to the strain. Even so, both have expressed a desire to prioritize their children and maintain respect for one another. A truth shared at 70. As Costner approached 70, he chose to open up about a man who influenced him deeply, Robert Redford. Their relationship has been intertwined for decades, built on mutual respect and shared values rather than competition. In a recent interview, Costner described Redford not just as an admired figure, but as a teacher and inspiration who showed him what it meant to take risks. Costner spoke about Redford's quiet intensity, his presence that drew attention without demanding it, and how watching him taught Costner that storytelling was about purpose, not just performance, a mentor and a kindred spirit. Costner explained that Redford's decision to direct Ordinary People was a turning point for him, inspiring his own ambitions behind the camera. When Redford later approached Costner about A River Runs Through It, the conversations they had were deeply meaningful, focusing on themes of fathers and sons and the things men struggle to say. Their friendship wasn't built on Hollywood parties, but on shared love for nature and the American West. Both men prefer the quiet beauty of the landscape over the glitz of Los Angeles, and Costner says they talked about the West more than movies. Integrity over fame. Costner also admired Redford's moral courage. In an industry that often rewards compromise, Redford stood firm in his beliefs, supporting independent film and new voices. Costner credits Redford with giving him the courage to make Dances with Wolves, saying, "If Robert can bet on himself, I can too." Even now, Costner says he hears Redford's influence in his directing, his calm, thoughtful voice reminding him to slow down and find truth in the scene. Their bond is a rare example of mutual respect without rivalry, and Costner says it reminds him that art should be about meaning, not ego, a legacy of truth. Now, at 70, Costner's tribute to Redford feels like a full-circle moment. He describes Redford as a friend, a mentor, and a symbol of what it means to be an artist with integrity. Costner concludes that success isn't about fame, it's about living with authenticity, standing by your work, and never forgetting why you fell in love with storytelling in the first place. In sharing this truth, Costner honors not only Redford, but the values that have guided his own life and career, reminding us that the most important lessons often come from the people who lead by example, quietly and without show.